After you have removed your top from your bubble wrap and your corners, and then you're going to lay your top down on a table surface, you'll have two of these narrow edges on the glue edge. We've already removed this one, and they're held together with pocket hole screws. We have already removed these screws, but you're probably familiar. Just back them out and remove them. We have already cut with a knife the rubber on the bottom side of this after it's been sprayed. So then you will remove this, okay, and then that will allow you to bring your tops together. Now you need to put a little bit of glue in the glue joint of your top. Not very much, because you'll have to be trying to squeeze it all out and you'll have a problem. Just a real small amount of glue down inside the gap, just a little bit on top of this tongue here, and just a little bit there and a little bit there. Now I'm talking, real small bead. Then you will take your screws and you will put them on both sides. You'll insert them in there, and then you'll take your driver. Now we use a long driver. It works easier. You don't have to have a long driver, but this is very critical. Put them in very cautiously because you're screwing into soft material and you don't want to strip out the threads inside the wood. And but that will allow you to splice this top together, and then on the next shot we will have the frame that will go back around there. Now we're going to be using a brand new frame, which you may have already ordered, or you can use your existing old frame. Okay, this is how we clamp the corners together to hold everything secured, and then he puts the screws, go ahead, he puts the screws, now he is aligning up the joint and putting the clamps on both sides to hold everything secure. Now again, this is making a brand new tabletop. We have squared the top up. It's we cross squared it. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. You guys can figure that out. Basically, is always to start off on one end, clamp it down, and then move your other end until it squares up. Okay, now go ahead and put your screws in the holes, and then after you get screws all in the holes, then just start putting your screws in. Now remember, you're screwing through hardwood into Trupan MDF, which is softer, and it is easy to pull the threads. So we always use a either a ratchet driver, or sometimes we prefer a drill that you can set your setting on there, and as far as we keep from twisting them off, the thread off inside the wood. Okay, now after everything is together, now we are upside down. You will turn this thing over, but for visual purposes, for video, we just have a straight trim bit with a router, or with a ball bearing on there. And that way it flush trims. You guys are very familiar with that. And then after that goes all the way around, then he just takes a round over bit and rounds over the sharp edge on the front, or we mean all the way around on the top. So that's how you finish off and make it look nice. That will be completely up to you. You may want to just leave it raw like that. Whatever you want to do is it's your machine. When you replace the top rubber, but you're still using your old frame, you have to understand that we are looking at a brand new table that is not yet completed. It may be easier for you to remove the screws and the bolt out of the frame and pull your top over and put it on a table upside down to remove your frame. Now, I'm talking to people that have old tables that do not have pocket holes in the top, they will have screw holes that screw into frame into frame, but they will have trim head screws that are embedded inside underneath here. You may and may not be able to see them. You may have to take like a sharp knife and cut along here in order to find the little number 1 trim head screws, and that way you can put a driver down in there and pull them out, and then that will remove your top, and you can put a brand new top on your existing frame with your trim head screws, because you don't have the pocket hole screws on the inside to fasten it on. Newer tables in the last 10 years have got pocket hole screws. Okay, whenever you are trying to remove the cylinders, the lift cylinders off of a top, you want to always remember that whenever you remove that lift cylinder off, you have the full weight of the top to deal with at whatever you're doing with. Okay, now we're going to demo how to, there is a spring, not a coil spring, it's just a piece of black spring steel, and then he is going to insert a screwdriver underneath there. Now I have a hold of the top, okay, and he's just pulling that off. Put it back on, and let's take it off again. They see how it just snaps on? Okay, I'm just going to pull that spring out just a little bit, and that thing just pops right off, and then put it right back on. It is just that simple. Okay, now when you remove the gas cylinders off of the top, you can lay this top back, and you can lay this top down onto like another table or some kind of stand, and that way that it will just lay back all the way back if you needed to do some kind of work on the machine. If you want to remove that panel to get access to the motor, it's nice to have this top laid back out of your way. You just lay it down on something that will hold it out, straight out flat. Don't let it flop. If you let it flop, you'll break it. You'll be buying a new top.